To the NFL and some berries burning questions heading into the NFL draft. Field Yates, what pick by the Cowboys would you consider an A+?
How bad about Tyrone McMillan, the wide receiver from Arizona, 6'4", 219 pounds. It's an outstanding catch radius. The Cowboys need more juice on this offense opposite of CeeDee Lamb. I think T-Mac would be a good fit there at number 12 overall. I do think there's a chance he gets there. By the way, just a pedestrian 40 time at his pro day, somewhere in the range of 4.53 to 4.57. But McMillan does so much else at a very high level that he can more than offset that average 40 time. Given that size, too good of a player to pass up. Do I get more time?
Draft might be when the Cowboys. No, I'll go in there. I'll take your time. I'm fine with that. When the Cowboys are on the clock and everyone's seeing running back and wide receiver and all the mock drafts, what if they do what they've done before and they just go interior offensive line? I've got Tyler Booker, the big fella out of Alabama, going 12th overall to the Cowboys. They lose Zach Martin, a huge piece of their offense, one of the leaders, and Booker is an all-world locker room guy and team leader. I have them taking Booker, the offensive guard, over Hampton, the running back, and McMillan, the dazzling wide receiver.
Yeah, I think, Matt, on Booker, he's an interesting guy. So he ends up right outside the top 32 for me for my final big board. And here's the reason why. There is a much larger number of teams that are now playing the zone scheme in terms of the base of their running game on offense right now. Booker is an incredibly impressive physical talent. He's not a great mover. He is much more of a power player. He plays in short spaces a whole lot better than he does out on the perimeter. The Cowboys, however, would be one of those teams that plays a power running scheme. They would have more appeal. They would see more appeal in Booker than other teams like San Francisco and the Rams and others who play that zone scheme.
All right, Schefter, give me your Cowboys A+.
Well, Jerry Jones pulls off the type of trade that he's talking about making. Yesterday, Jerry Jones is making lots of noise about the Cowboys having potentially a major trade in the works. Now, I don't know what major trade is out there. They're not trading Micah Parsons. We'll see if they can trade for another player. But if Jerry is right, and if this team can execute a major trade, that would seem to impact who they would and wouldn't be targeting early on. Let's see if the Cowboys can make something like that happen.
The one thing you can guarantee, the Cowboys will give us A+ entertainment, no matter how they go about it coming up in the draft. All right, Barry's burning question number 2. We talked about the volatility of this quarterback market and where some of them might fall. The question is this: will they do the right thing as we look at Peter Schrager's mock draft that was released this morning? But in terms of the Giants and what they'll do, are they going to take a quarterback or will they not? So Field Yates, will they do the smart thing and pass on a quarterback at 3?
Yeah, I think they will. I think 36 hours out, the three of us are in agreement that the Giants will bypass a quarterback at number 3, in part because I think they feel like there's an opportunity for them to potentially get back into the first round or even sit at the top of the second round and grab a quarterback there. The more important part here is that Abdul Carter, who we believe will be available at pick number 3, is to me one of the 2 best players in this draft, and it's not particularly close. 12 sacks this past season. He was outstanding. His 4 of his 5 highest pressure games in this past season came against ranked teams. He had 7 pressures against Notre Dame when he was playing with basically one shoulder. He's a game wrecker. Yes, the Giants had a solid pass rush last year, but go find an NFL team that has enough pass rush. You're going to be looking for a while because no team could ever have enough premium rushers.
Again, and it goes into the volatility of the quarterback in this draft. And Peter Schrager's mock draft was out this morning. And take a look at the quarterbacks he's got going to the first round. Again, this is based on what he's hearing. He has 3 of them. Cam Ward 1, Shedeur Sanders 21 to the Steelers, Jackson Dart to the Giants via a trade. So this thing could go up, down, and around. And when you look at it big picture, Peter, I mean, we just talked about the betting market a second ago. It was 2.5. Based on what you're hearing, you believe there could be 3.
Yeah, I think there could be 3. And I think it's because every team I'm talking to in the 20s is asking me, can we trade back? Do you know anyone willing to trade back? At some point, the value will be there for one of these teams that needs a quarterback to just trade up. You're not going to have to give up next year's first-round pick to move up to 26 or 27 or 28. And in the Giants' case, I know it was a priority this offseason for John Mara to look at to his guys and say, we're getting out of here with a young quarterback at some point. They have Russell Wilson. They have Jameis Winston. They have Tommy DeVito. Jackson Dart makes a lot of sense at 26. He doesn't make as much sense at 3, and you won't have to give up a king's ransom to move up with the Rams to get him. I do believe there will be a third quarterback taken at the end of the first round with one of these quarterback-needy teams moving up. I go with 3, but I would not be shocked if we woke up on Friday morning and there was just one.
Yeah, Adam, when we look at the quarterback prospects, I mean, this is a year where we're light on top flight, bona fide first-round quarterback prospects, but yet we know teams talk themselves into saying, look, I got to grab this quarterback in the first round. What do you believe will happen with the number of quarterbacks taken in the first round?
Well, we got a few issues here, Matt. Number one, I think Peter's talking about the idea of 3. He wouldn't be surprised at 1. The real question will be, where does the second quarterback go? If Pittsburgh bypasses a quarterback at 21, Shedeur Sanders, and doesn't take him, I don't know that somebody's trading up, and we may see one go, and then this rush of quarterbacks on Friday night where there's the potential to be more quarterbacks picked in the first 10 picks Friday night than there are in all 32 picks Thursday night. The Cleveland Browns are scheduled to pick 33, opening pick Friday night. The Giants are right behind them, 34, second pick Friday night. The New Orleans Saints are pick 40 Friday night. And so there are 3 teams. And by the way, we're talking about 5 quarterbacks here. Cam Ward, number 1 to the Titans. But then there's Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck, and of course, Jalen Milroe. How many really quarterback-needy teams are there that are going to use a high pick? There are more quarterbacks viewed as top players than there are teams that are willing to use a high pick on them right now, which means somebody, maybe a couple, are going to fall.
Field.
Well, think back to what happened last year. And this class is so different than last year's class in many ways. We had 6 quarterbacks go in the first 12 picks. Obviously, we'll have nothing close to that. I'd be surprised if it's more than 1 quarterback that goes in the first 12 picks. But it was what happened after those 12 picks that could be pertinent again this weekend. Following Bo Nix going to the Broncos at number 12 overall, the next quarterback did not go until Spencer Rattler in the 5th round. It was the largest gap between quarterbacks ever in the common draft era. I'm not saying we're going to have a 100 pick gap. I am certainly not saying that. But Schefter's point about the number of teams that actually need a quarterback is pertinent, because if there's 5 seats on the dance floor and 5 quarterbacks, maybe they go early. But if there's only 4 teams in the quarterback market, somebody's going to potentially be left out and could have a long wait on Friday night.
Yeah, to me, that's going to be the one thing we watch. Schrager, it's got to be quick.
I was going to say real quick, the Saints have the 9th pick, and none of us are thinking the Saints go quarterback. Instead, we've got defensive linemen and offensive linemen, and we're like, yeah, that makes more sense. That tells you a lot about this class and just where these guys are.
And therein lies the mystery. We'll see when the draft begins tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. We'll have every pick once again on ESPN. It's going to be hosted by Graney. He's out there right now. It's also available on the NFL Network, and ABC's coverage focuses on the prospects' journey to the draft. Cannot wait. Questions will be answered in just over